What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we're making back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we're making back out. So I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we're making back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Man, I'll tell you, I think I set up too long of a flight today. I was kind of quite bug-eyed at the end of that one. So 619 nautical miles, if I'm not mistaken, and that was a hell of a trip. Anywho, tomorrow I'm going to take a little shorter trip. I'm telling you, I'm so madly in love with that thing. I got a fairly good start on the first repaint of the plane, and when I say that, it doesn't take me long. I'm not a professional, but I can make a relatively decent looking aircraft, and I'm making sure that this paint is worth it, well worthy of the rest of the aircraft. Starting out with the typical sim game at Black Ops paint job, which is a very, very, very flat black. Little to no shine as possible. And then the Black Ops logos, sim game at Black Ops logos, along with what hopefully will be red lettering, and there's chrome emblems. One of them is your in number, and the other one says Comanche. And currently on the aircraft they are chrome, silver chrome. I'm going to try to make them red chrome. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm going to try. And just do a little bit of this and that with red, just to kind of highlight, set off a few things. So I don't know, I might work on it just a little bit after the show. I might work with it a little bit, see if I can get it ready for tomorrow's flight. I don't even have tomorrow's flight planned out yet. Had I done this the better way, I would have just did it all one big ass huge flight plan, and just saved it every day at the stop. So next time that's what I'll do. But I thought I know you guys really care about this stuff. I thought I had wiped out my nose gear in one of my landings, because I set her down pretty hard. And I know damn well that thing started making odd noises that it wasn't making before. But the inspection shows everything is fine. I have a feeling that it may be fine, but I think that I certainly think I did something. So there is certainly a sound that wasn't there before when you're taxiing. So I'm gonna play it as she lies. I mean, I did that with one more airport to go today, and made it fine. Got up, got back down fine. Didn't seem to have any issues. It's just got this extra little rattle and vibration to it, so I know something's up. Anyway, I just absolutely enjoy being able to do something like that, and having it so realistic that you can at the end of the day say, no, I did that. I may not be in an actual real airplane, but everything is modeled. Like, literally everything is modeled. So, pretty incredible stuff. Let's see. Tomorrow we will have at 3 p.m. The usual, the VR news broadcast. So that will happen tomorrow. I'll get a video put out at some point tomorrow to give everybody the link and let them know. And I urge you to attend. It's different. It's very different, but very neat, and it's also cool that other people can participate in the conversation. And it's just like sitting down and having one big conference meeting and talking about news or whatever the hell comes up. So, pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Other than that, I don't know. I got, I guess, 8 tabs open. So I don't plan to spend a ton of time. I want to be done with news for the week. And it is my Friday, so yippee yay. Alrighty-oo. Get the right window over here. I can't think of anything in particular to discuss. Let's see. No. Let's see. I'm sure you guys want to go along for the ride. U.S. boy 11 competent to stand trial over mother's death. This caught my attention by the thumbnail image that they used. I'm like, oh, holy crap. This here goes on to say an 11-year-old boy has been deemed competent to face first-degree homicide charges in an adult court in the U.S. state of Wisconsin after he allegedly shot and killed his mother during an argument over video game equipment last November. He knew his case was in adult court. He knew that his case was a felony. He knew that there were two types of cases, felonies and misdemeanors. Milwaukee County Prosecutor Sarah Watchman argued to the court on Wednesday. He knew it was serious. Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Jane Carroll reached the same conclusion on Wednesday after hearing competing testimony from two psychologists who examined the boy, who was 10 years old at the time of the incident. One of the mental health experts found that the boy was fully aware of the nature of the charges against him, while the other reached the opposite conclusion, principally due to the defendant's age. In her ruling, Carroll stated her belief that the boy does have the capacity to understand the proceedings against him. The charge originates from a shooting in which the boy's 44-year-old mother died, allegedly after she refused to purchase an Oculus virtual reality headset to be used in video gaming. Lego my Oculus Pro. Reports first indicated that the boy had pointed a gun at his mother with the intention of shooting a wall to scare her. She was struck when she walked into the path of the bullet, he allegedly told police, which that tells me that his mom was at least related to Superman. Because if she started moving after he fired the round and walked into the path of that round, well, then she's faster than a speeding bullet. Wow. Relatives of the boy then contacted authorities to question his version of events. He later admitted to intentionally pointing the firearm at his mother and pulling the trigger, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported last year, citing a copy of the criminal complaint. It was also reported that the boy allegedly purchased the virtual reality equipment using his mother's account after her death. The boy's family told police during the investigation that he had previously undergone mental health treatment and had engaged in disturbing behavior, local media said. Attorneys representing the boy, who has not been identified by local media, had earlier indicated that they were pursuing a trial in juvenile court. The status of this application is unclear. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported the youngster is being held in custody on $50,000 bail at a juvenile center in Milwaukee. At a hearing last year, the boy requested the bail be set at no more than the contents of his piggy bank, around $100, the New York Post reported in December. Milwaukee State requires children aged 10 and upwards to be charged as adults for a range of particular crimes, homicide included. That's messed up. And this whole psychologist, the one that had the attitude that because of the age alone, he shouldn't be tried as an adult, that person just needs away from society. because bad people do bad things. Doesn't mean that bad people will always be bad forever and ever and ever. But if they were just bad, they probably need to go away for a while. At least until people can get an idea of what's going on. Because we can't tell anything from the outside looking in. Neither can the psychologist or anybody else. They have to dig, they have to find out what was everyday life like in that home. Because that's a massive factor. Now, I'm not saying any of it clears the boy of wrongdoing unless the boy himself was threatened, felt like his life was threatened from his mother. But I don't think that was the case or anything else. I just think that another case of mommy wanting to be best friends with kids, and unfortunately that doesn't work. Also another case of single motherhood works, yo. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We've got a whole damn society to prove that now. Now we just have to come to grips with it. This isn't anything necessarily new. Stuff like this is going on for a very, very long time. Very long time. And I can't say that it's even necessarily any more severe now than it was before, because we don't have a rash of these happening. This is not an epidemic. But stuff like this happens, and we do hear about it from time to time, and from time to time it involves gaming. And boy, I'll tell you what, the anti-gamers have a field day with situations like this. Wasn't the game. Game didn't do it. There are some social skills missing in that boy's life, somewhere or another. And or, caveat, for whatever reason, mentally, he can't hang socially. So, again, nothing excuses his behavior unless his life was in danger. I don't think that's what was the case. I'm curious of other details of the case as well, like where was the firearm at? How did he get access to it? Stuff like that. That really adds to context. Anywho, I'm sure you figured we were gonna talk about Russia at some point. Nah, can't help that. It's Putin's fault. Alright. I'm gonna have me a couple of vapes, couple of sips of coffee. I'm not really in a hurry. Although I do kind of want to get to playing with that paint job. I would like to roll out in the morning with a Sim Game It Black Ops paint job. Oh, man. Fun All right. Russia announces major airstrikes on key targets in Ukraine. Told you the skies were going to be lighting up above Ukraine. This is not only in part because of the stuff with the bridge, but also because of, well, as we reported yesterday, Ukraine is now in their major thrust of the counteroffensive. Major thrust. The force multiplier. Starring Zelensky. Sorry. Moscow has launched fresh long-range strikes against Ukraine's military infrastructure, targeting weaponry stockpiles, ammo, and fuel depots, as well as several airfields, the Russian Defense Ministry announced in its daily briefing on Thursday. All of a sudden, I'm seeing Zelensky with a porn stash and porn sideburns. Major Thrust, starring Vladimir Zelensky. Boom, chicka, mow, mow. Yeah, that's why I didn't get to go to any good colleges. The strikes conducted over the past 24 hours involved long-range air and sea-based high-precision weapons, the military said without elaborating. The strikes targeted command and control centers of the Ukrainian military as well. Sorry, I've got an issue. I'm mental. Deal with it. Ukrainian military as well as multiple rear repair bases. Oh, not the rear repair bases. Storage sites and airfields, it added. The targeted storage facilities were used to stash water drones, as well as missiles, weaponry, and military equipment received from European countries and the U.S., according to the ministry. All designated targets were successfully hit, the military stated. Unverified footage circulating online showed multiple cruise missiles flying over western Ukraine, while Kiev routinely claims destruction of most incoming projectiles. President Vladimir Zelensky, in this instance, has made a rare admission, stating that several hits had been registered. He didn't specify exactly which installations have been affected by the attack. Oh, I don't know, all of them? The strikes also affected multiple fuel depots, including an aviation fuel storage facility in Ukraine's western region of Khmelnytskyi, as well as a major fuel and ammo stockpile in Zaporozhye region, which has seen a sharp uptick in fighting over the past day. You know, the major thrust. Russian troops have repelled a major attack in the area. See, I told you. Inflicting heavy losses on Ukrainian forces, according to the country's military. Kiev's troops lost more than 280 personnel and at least 25 tanks and 10 infantry fighting vehicles during the battle. Over the past week, the Russian military has ramped up long-range missile and suicide drone strikes against Ukraine, repeatedly targeting port infrastructure in the country's south, as well as military installations in its west. The strikes come in the aftermath of a recent Ukrainian attack on the Crimean Bridge. The facility was targeted by 2 sea drones, which inflicted considerable damage on the road section of the bridge and killed 2 Russian civilians. A couple whose now orphaned 14-year-old daughter was seriously wounded in the attack. So that is what's up with the cat in the hat. Coffee. U.S. drone locked weapons on Russian jets, says Moscow. Oh, now we're getting the other side of the story, are we? I don't know which is true. Probably all of the above. They probably was faffoing with the Russian jets, and the Russian jets faffoed back, and we got the short end of the stick. A U.S. MQ-9 Reaper surveillance and attack drone flew dangerously close to a pair of Russian Su-34 and Su-35 fighter jets in Syria on Wednesday, Moscow said. It was the second such incident in less than a week, according to Rear Admiral Oleg Gernov, the deputy head of the Russian Reconciliation Center for Syria. The incident occurred shortly after 7:30 a.m. local time over the northwestern Aleppo province. He said the Russian planes automatically fired decoy flares after their radar showed that the Reaper had locked its weapons on them. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre offered a different account of the event because she was there, stating that the Russian aircraft were flying dangerously close to our drone, which was part of a mission against Islamic extremists. I've tried. The Pentagon said earlier that a Russian jet flew within meters of the MQ-9 during a separate incident on Sunday, damaging the drone's propeller with flares. Addressing Sunday's altercation, Gernov said the Reaper was flying in a reckless manner, and collision was narrowly avoided thanks to the high level of professionalism of the Russian pilots. Moscow and Washington have frequently accused each other of risky maneuvers and unprofessional behavior in Syrian airspace. Gernov told reporters the Russian planes were conducting flights strictly in accordance with existing agreements between Russia and the U.S. aimed at preventing incidents involving military aircraft. Well, considering we aren't welcome there and Russia is welcome there, I think that holds a bit of context, but that's just me, I know. I'm kind of one of those people that believe in sovereignty. And that doesn't change just because of the circumstance or the opportunity. F-16s will not be decisive in Ukraine, says the White House. I've been saying, I'm not even going to read it. I've been saying this for how long now? Not going to make a difference, Joe. All of this for nothing. Almost 20% of NATO supplies to Ukraine already lost, says Financial Times. And again, no need to read this. We've been talking about this for a while. Ukraine puts them out on the battlefield. Russia smacks the shit out of them. Battle over. Pretty much how it's been going. Pretty much just like I've been saying. Experts say expecting Kiev to win is definition of insanity, says USA Today. Well, I'm no expert, but I've been making that call from the beginning. I mean, how out of touch do you have to be to think that Ukraine ever stood a chance? You'd have to be really just absolutely, totally, and utterly out of your mind to think that they had a chance. I don't think they've got a chance with NATO intervention. Why do I say that? Because it's there, not here. It's there. It's on Russia's doorstep, not on our doorstep. A little bit easier for Russia to keep putting in supplies and whatnot in the area than what it is for us. Especially considering NATO gets involved, the conflict isn't going to stop over the skies of Ukraine. Those planes bringing supplies and equipment to the battle area, to the battleground ain't gonna make it, yo. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. Logistics is still an issue in warfare. A major, major issue, because you've got to get that equipment from point A to point B. Plain and simple. And in that instance, for the most part, whoever is closer is going to be able to do that much more effectively, much more efficiently. That's one of the most important parts of the battle. Also, knowing your terrain is another massive factor. Little go-kart, I guess, running down the street. Continuing to arm Ukraine and expecting it to defeat Russia is a strategic insanity for Washington and other NATO members, because Kiev is locked in an unwinnable stalemate with a foe that never aimed to conquer the former Soviet Republic, U.S. Today has reported, citing multiple U.S. foreign policy experts. The report, published on Thursday, hints at a shifting narrative for Western media outlets, which had been touting Ukraine's alleged battlefield successes, as well as vows by the Biden administration that Kiev must be supported with massive military and economic aid for as long as it takes, that's going to be a hell of a long time, to win the conflict with Russia. Georgetown University professor Sean McFate, well, he's certainly got a name fitting for opining on this issue. What is our McFate, Sean? A senior fellow of the Atlantic Council think tank in Washington told the newspaper that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has begun to lose credibility. Wait a minute. Just begun? I mean, his first photo shoot, and that was done. It was over. When I heard the word photo shoot associated with the name Zelensky, I was good. I knew then. Let's see. He claimed that Zelensky has locked himself into a position in which he can't win but can't afford to lose either. Staying alive. Staying alive. Well, I mean, they could totally go back and they could make a musical with him and make him out to be a winner, even as the bombs are coming in and blowing the shit out of him. It would be cool. Staying alive, I mean, his arms flying around. It would. We'll work on the screenplay. Yeah, I'm just not much into the news today. That's what it is. Nicotine. I still don't know how the hell I put one of my logos in the entirely wrong control surface. I don't know how the hell I did that. I totally looked like the horizontal stabilizer. Guess not. I shall be moving those. And then I gotta flip one around, put one on the other wing, maybe flip it around, I don't know yet. I know, you're so excited about it. Fun, fun, fun. Dark money funding reverse engineering of alien craft in the U.S., says a whistleblower. I've watched some video clips from this little hearing. I mean, don't get me wrong. there's a lot of seriously good information being discussed. Don't misunderstand that. But they're still not given the goods. So they're kind of walking around the goods, but they're not given the goods. A lot of, I can't discuss that in a public setting kind of answers. You know, the government. Documents show White House pressured Facebook to censor speech. You sons of bitches. No, I think we pretty well knew this. Newly unearthed documents from Facebook have revealed that U.S. President Joe Biden, let's just start calling him Joe Biden's administration pressured the world's largest social media platform to censor commentary by its users, potentially violating the constitutional right to free speech. U.S. House Judiciary Committee Chairman and Republican Jim Jordan, not like Jim Jones, obtained the documents amid his panel's investigation of the administration's alleged weaponization of government. Dun dun dun. The documents prove that Facebook and Instagram censored posts and changed their moderation policies because of unconstitutional pressure from the Biden White House, Jordan said on Thursday. Among the evidence cited by the lawmaker was an April 2021 email from a Facebook employee to top executives Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg. We are facing continued pressure from external stakeholders, including the White House and the press, to remove more COVID-19 vaccine discouraging, content, the sender said. The message noted, for example, that the White House had pushed for the censoring of a humorous meme that suggested the jabs might be unsafe. Around the same time period, Nick Clegg, Facebook's president for global affairs, sent a message informing his colleagues that Andy Slavitt, a senior advisor to Biden on COVID-19 policies, was outraged that the platform didn't take down the anti-vaccine meme. Clegg said that he countered that removing the content would represent a significant incursion into traditional boundaries of free expression in the U.S., but Slavitt disregarded that concern and continued that the meme would hinder the government's vaccine rollout effort. Social media platforms themselves can legally choose how to restrict their content, but government intervention to influence those decisions could infringe on free speech rights. After a report last October showed that the administration had set up a portal through which federal officials could make content moderation requests to big tech, the American Civil Liberties Union said, "The First Amendment bars the government from deciding for us what is true or false, online or anywhere. Our government can't use private pressure to get around our constitutional rights." Jordan warned earlier this week that his committee would vote to hold Zuckerberg in contempt of Congress unless Facebook provided the documents it had subpoenaed on government interventions into content moderation. He claimed that the committee had seen enough evidence to believe that Facebook was holding back on turning over evidence that would show it faced the same sort of government pressure that was previously revealed by Twitter. Facebook executives feared repercussions if they didn't appease the White House, Jordan said. 3 months after Biden took office, Facebook's vice president for public policy, Brian Rice, wrote in an April 2021 email that Slavitt's pushback felt very much like a crossroads for us with the White House in these early days. He added, "Given what is at stake here, it would also be a good idea if we could regroup and take stock of where we are in our relations with the White House and our internal methods too." I'll get it out. Another document showed the talking points were prepared for Clegg to help smooth over relations with the administration. One of the suggestions was that he point out the company's handling of a Tucker Carlson video that angered the White House. Although the video didn't violate the platform's policies, Facebook throttled back its distribution by 50% while it was queued to be fact-checked. I'm telling you, there really seriously needs to be people charged over this stuff. All right. Run through the headlines here. Sweden blames Moscow for outrage over Quran burning stunts. Spaniards losing spending power, says data. U.S. drone locked weapons on Russian jets, says Moscow. I said that one earlier. EU state on takeover spree of Russian assets. Hey, what's up? Howdy, Hexapoose. And Frank, what's up? Kim Jong-un receives a warm letter from Putin, said Pyongyang. Well, at least it wasn't a warm package, because if he got his warm package, well then. Russia intercepts another cargo ship bearing traces of explosives, says FSB. Wasn't me, wasn't my ship. Putin pledges grain aid to Africa. They're going to be like farm aid, but with Africa. You're going to have like live music and stuff there. Just don't have Jason Aldean, because people will lose their shit. I mean, they will just lose it. Let's see. I hear you there, Frank. I know that feeling. Let's see. Russia ramping up energy exports to Africa, says Putin. African Union chief comments on Zelensky's attitude to peace plan. African country seeks Russian grain. Putin backs G20 membership for African Union. Sensing a trend here. Ukrainian sabotage attempt on Black Sea fleet thwarted, says Russia. Australia lucky to be colonized by the British, says former PM. Oh, they're very lucky. 4 dead after tourist helicopter crashes in Siberia. Africa capitalizing on Western exit from Russia, says an official. Why not? Colossal difference between Ukrainian and Russian losses, says Putin. Putin urges launch of Russian industrial zone near Suez Canal. Almost 20% of NATO supplies to Ukraine. Oh, I covered that one. ECB hikes interest rates to multi-year highs. Let's see. Putin proposes alternative cargo route to Africa. Russia commemorates children killed in Donbass. Putin awards journalists killed in Ukrainian shelling the Order of Courage. U.S. played critical role in Crimean Bridge terror attacks, says Seymour Hersh. Experts say expecting Kiev to... Oh, I covered that one. Small bank loaned Trump $225 million to fund presidential run, says Washington Post. U.S. drops campaign finance charges against FTX founder. Putin grants citizenship to American hockey player. Ukrainian parliament vote scraps planned election. Ukrainian corruption threatens U.S. assistance, says a report. Let's see. U.S. tanks to reach Ukraine in September, says Politico. Wow. Will they still be fighting in September? July 2023 will be the hottest month in recorded history, says UN chief. Well, I did spend more time outside. I'm glad you noticed. Special counsel announces new charges against Trump. Another big distraction. Anywho, wow, I got through that pretty quick. I'm going to run out of here because I want to play with the paint job a little bit. Just a little bit before bed. And, God willing, some of you that decide to check us out on Workrooms will see me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Others of you will see me Sunday night. So, I am going to get out of here. I am going to work on a paint job. And I will see you all either tomorrow or Sunday. Hope you all have a good night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.